your host, your friend, your boy, and today we'll be talking about Dragon Ball Super and how it will be ending soon in March. If you have not been keeping up with this, I'll be trying to explain what's been happening, why it's ending in March, what I see for the future of Dragon Ball, and how I feel they'll try and wrap everything up. This is a live video, so occasionally people will pop in, I'll talk with them, they'll ask questions, and I'll answer them live. But if you are not watching this live, feel free to post in the comment section below. Be more than happy to try and answer your questions the best I can. Also, don't think that I'm like the one-all be-all source of Dragon Ball news on the internet, because I certainly am not. Kanzenshuu is way better about this kind of thing, and they have a podcast that they do on YouTube. I actually follow Kanzenshuu. I feel like they're probably one of the most official sources for Dragon Ball news, to be honest. If you're more of a Twitter person, then you got Herms, and you got Kin Zyro, are a couple people on Twitter who are really good about giving you Dragon Ball Super news most depth. Scavenger said greetings and salutations. Yo, welcome Scavenger. Always great to have you. And of course, if you enjoy YouTube like myself, you can hit up YouTubers like Geekdom 101, Detective Q. I always want to call him Defective Q. I can't remember what his name is. MJXTV, Reel to Reel Productions. There are so many great Mozilla Vulpix. There's so many great Dragon Ball YouTubers out there, so definitely make sure you check them out. Vanessa Brooks said hi, and trust, they all have an opinion about what's happening. Scavenger says, you mean the dope Dragon Ball guys? Yes, there are plenty of dope Dragon Ball YouTubers, people on Twitter, people on the Kanzenshuu forums. There's so many ways that you can learn about this. Like, you don't have to just watch this. Definitely check out other people's opinions. Scavenger says Q and Geekdom are usually his go-to, along with Jaxblade. I actually haven't heard of Jaxblade, and I follow quite a lot of Dragon Ball YouTubers. What is Jaxblade like? I'm actually kind of interested. Also, the main topic of this discussion, as you've all seen in the title of this video, is Dragon Ball Super is coming to an end in March, and how I feel about the story and what they're going to be doing. So, when it comes to them ending in March, essentially we know that another show is taking its time slot, and we haven't heard any announcements of Dragon Ball Super changing its time slot to accommodate it. So if Dragon Ball Super doesn't change its time slot in March, and something else is taking its March time slot, that would mean that Dragon Ball Super doesn't have a time slot, which means they won't be airing new episodes of Dragon Ball Super. It kind of implies that by the end of March, a new show will be coming in, and Dragon Ball Super will be rolling out. We know that they're going to have a Dragon Ball Super movie coming out this year that's going to talk more about the origins of Super Saiyan God and stuff like that, which should be pretty cool. But our talk is mainly about how Dragon Ball Super as a story will be ending in March, and what more we may see from the series to come. Because it really depends on how they end it, about whether or not we may see like a sequel series or something like that. Scavenger says Jaxblade does Dragon Ball stuff, mostly workout videos on how to get bodies of cartoon and anime characters. Oh, interesting. I actually follow JL Laser, I think is his name, JL or JX Laser, and he doesn't do videos about superheroes proper, but he does a lot of gadget videos where he's like, hey guys, use some stuff that you can find at your home. Let's make like a web shooter that shoots ice. Like, he does stuff like that. Oh, Scavenger follows him. He said JL Laser is dope. Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of the Jaxblade thing, except it's less workout and more like workshop. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Dragon Ball Super ending in March, with the current Tournament of Power underway, what do you think will happen between the Tournament of Power like ending and us getting the end of Super? Do you think that Super, by the end of March, will have caught up with the end of Dragon Ball Z, or possibly surpass the end of Dragon Ball Z? One thing that I'm afraid of is the possibility that Dragon Ball Super, if it is indeed ending in March, and they're not just changing the time slot or going on a really long hiatus, is that they'll try and rush too far. By the end of March, I don't really see us getting past the end of Z already, considering that in the end of Z, Goten and Trunks have matured, and Pan is now like a legitimate like young child who has martial arts expertise, and Goku's apparently been gone for a long time. Like, there are so many things happening at the end of Z where they introduce Oob into the story and everything, where I feel like if we got to that by the end of March, I'd be really surprised if they didn't do like a time skip or something to get there. But at the same time, everyone's been wanting to see what Dragon Ball Super will be like after the end of Z. Scavenger says Goku is a god now in Dragon Ball, and that's true. In Dragon Ball Super, Goku is now even gone beyond with the whole Ultra Instinct thing being something that even gods try to achieve but don't always get under their belt. You know what I mean? Like, Goku has gone super far. But with the Tournament of Power coming to a close, writers have already announced that Dragon Ball Super, where it takes place in the timeline, is before the end of Z. It's before the introduction of, like, Oob in that final tournament where Pan's like a little girl. So we're trying to figure out, will they get to that point, like, before the end of March? Will we get to see where Dragon Ball Super meets the end of Z? Or will it somehow go beyond? Will we get a definitive ending to Super? Or will it be like almost a cliffhanger ending, and then maybe next year the series may come back? Some people have talked about how, because we're going to have a movie later this year for Dragon Ball Super, that they want to put all their best people on the movie. So they're getting all their best animators and getting all the voice actors and everything ready for the movie, and then once the movie is done, we may get the show back. Vegeta says he's almost there. Yo, Vegeta, welcome to the stream. Good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Scavenger said, I hope they explain Oob, because Oob seems dope as fuck. I feel like Oob is going to be really disappointing. Let's see. Vegeta said Oob is Kid Buu. And then Scavenger said Oob versus Goku. Now, the reason why I think Oob is going to be really disappointing is mainly because we've seen so much. We've seen all these gods, and we've seen characters that are far beyond Buu by this point, right? Where, to me, Buu isn't shit. It's not that Buu isn't super powerful, but Buu, compared to the things that we're currently watching the Z Fighters face off against, is just not on the same level. So with Oob being the reincarnation of Kid Buu, he does have a ton of potential. He has a shit ton of potential. Like, he definitely can be incredibly powerful, especially starting as Kid Buu as a base, more or less, and then Goku can train him up. But I want to see how Goku trains a human that's like a reincarnation of, like, Kid Buu. Because him being born in a human body, I feel like automatically limits him in many ways. It would have been interesting if Oob had reincarnated into, like, a different type of being, but because he's a human, we've only seen humans get so far. You know what I mean? Let's see, Scavenger said, no shit, Pinky, in response to Vegeta saying, oh, well, Oob is Kid Buu, and then Vegeta was like, oh, yes, true, shit on me, please, because Vegeta's into that kinky stuff, that inappropriate kinky stuff. But when it comes to Dragon Ball Super ending and us getting Oob, I would like, after the Tournament of Power, a solid arc that discusses Oob. I think that would be really cool. Vegeta asked, why do I do little streams? So we've been doing a lot of smaller streams recently. It's mainly because I've been congested. I've been kind of sick. I've been doing a lot of schoolwork. I now have 5 classes that I have to manage. So with all my schoolwork and me being congested, it's easier for me to do little check-ins than it is for me to do bigger videos like this. Recently, I've been feeling better. I've been coughing less. I've had less congestion, though occasionally I do have to, like, walk off screen for a bit in order to handle my congestion issues. But as I feel better, and as we hit days like this is days like these, damn it, fucking Smash Mouth reference, I'll be able to do longer and longer videos and be able to do more streams with you all. So it's all about me feeling better and me making sure that I get my work done, because I have to focus on school above anything else. And also my health, like school and my health. So, okay, Vegeta says, makes sense. Yeah, most of. So getting back to what we were talking about, Dragon Ball Super Oob. Yes, after the Tournament of Power, I would like to see an arc with Oob. What I would really love to see is an arc where the Tournament of Power is over. For whatever reason, Universe 6 is back. Either Universe 7 wins and Vegeta gets to use the wish to wish back Universe 6, or maybe Jiren wins and Jiren's like, I never wanted any of the universes to go down in the first place, and he wishes all of them back, which would be dumb. I don't want that. I want there to be consequences, so I don't want him to just wish everything back. Vegeta says that he wants to see more of Chi-Chi, and then he said he wants to see more of Chi-Chi's Chi-Chi's. He's talking about Chi-Chi's Tatas. Whatever. I don't know. I feel like that comment has less substance. Like, good joke, but it's still like, Scavenger says fried mac and cheese or nah. What? I don't know. The memes are now over my head. Like cheese over a warm platter of fried mac. But moving on, Vegeta says it's not a joke. He's like, I actually just want to see Chi-Chi's boobs. There's plenty of Rule 34 for that, Vegeta. Like, it's out there for you. But Scavenger says it's not a joke. He's like, fried mac and cheese or not. I don't think I've ever had fried macaroni and cheese. I'm not gonna lie. I know that Burger King, not Goku at all, did a thing where they put mac and cheese inside of like a fried Cheeto or something like that. But I'm not sure if, I think I may have gotten to try that once, but it's been a long time. Scavenger says, you ain't from the South. What do you mean? I live in Alabama. Miss me. Vegeta says, Nick isn't black. He's white, remember? That's what I've heard. But I would really like to see after the Tournament of Power, Universe 6 comes back for whatever reason, for Goku and Vegeta and Oob to go into Universe 6, and for them to start training Kale, Caulifla, Kaba, and Oob. Because I want them to not only train Oob, but I want them to train these Saiyans. And I want for Caulifla to, like, not care for Oob and be like, what can this mortal do? Like, how is this human supposed to match up with any of us? And I want Oob to surpass them. Like, I want Goku somehow has, like, such a better connection with Oob in teaching Oob that she, like, that Goku boosts Oob to, like, this level that Saiyans can't seem to achieve. And he'd be, like, the strongest human character we would have ever seen. Professor Trevenant said I sent you a Facebook message. Thank you kindly. The only reason why I haven't checked that yet is because I've been doing the stream. But don't worry, I'm not going to just leave you hanging. I'm definitely going to check out the link. Let's see. Scavenger says Caulifla versus Oob. Caulifla almost dies. That would be pretty insane. I do want to see Oob versus the Universe 6 Saiyans, and the Universe 6 Saiyans get trained by the Universe 7 Saiyans alongside Oob. I feel like that could be like the whole next generation thing. I kind of feel like Goten and Trunks should be involved in some way, but they're kind of stuck in the trap of school. Like, what's good about Kale, Caulifla, and Kaba, and also even Oob, is that they don't seem to have, like, real responsibilities. Oob works in his village, but I think Oob, by that point, would be old enough where you could just take him out of his village, and it'd be like, he's training, he's going on an adventure, it doesn't matter. And then Caulifla just kind of is like, I just kind of am like a boss, and she's hood as fuck, so she doesn't have, like, real responsibilities. And then Kale is just like her underling, so she's like, I don't have real responsibilities. And then Kaba's like, I work for the military, but I'm also, like, one of the strongest people on my planet. And, like, if I don't want to do anything, I just can kind of not, and it'd be fine. Let's see. Professor Trevenant said, yeah, I just hope Goku does not run off at the end again. That does seem to be a recurring thing, where Goku continually just runs away from his responsibilities. Also, don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Vegeta said, yee. Then he said, Yamcha comes and saves the day. I mean, it would be interesting to see more Yamcha, but not really. Like, my issue with Yamcha is that the Yamcha Isekai manga made me more of a Yamcha fan than I've ever been before, because it shows that Yamcha could potentially be way better than he is, but he's kind of sacrificed that for baseball, And I feel like as soon as Dragon Ball gives you another responsibility, you're just kind of gone. Like you don't actually need to do anything anymore. Tien to me doesn't have a real other responsibility. He now has his school, but I feel like with his school he could still be involved. He's like still a martial artist. I don't get it. Let's see. Professor Trevor said Yamcha can bite the dust for the 100th time. Scavenger said baseball is trash. Vegeta said they should make an anime of the Yamcha Isekai manga. I would watch that. Like, just an OVA. If they just did, like, a movie of it, I'd be fine with that. Scavenger says fighting is life. Then Vegeta said so that they can give Yamcha some respect. Yeah, I think they should make an OVA of the Yamcha Isekai manga. I do think that'd be really cool. I think the Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission manga, that's written by the same guy who did the, who is doing the Dragon Ball Super manga, that could use an anime. That needs a whole series. I'd love that. Vegeta said, yeah, a movie of it would be cool. Professor Trevenant said, respect, he cheated on Bulma. And then Scavenger said, but some respect on his name. And then Vegeta said, Yamcha's a savage. But yeah, I do think that would be nice. That definitely would be cool. When it comes to the future of Dragon Ball Super, though, I do want to see Goku take on more of a master role and just have him and Vegeta have a series of apprentices, especially if they can have, like, an equal set of apprentices. Like, Vegeta takes Kaba and Trunks or something like that, and they train. And then Goku takes... I need it to be even, but I can't mentally rationalize it to be even. The total number of people that they could train who would be old enough to be trained, because Pan is still a baby, would be like Goten, Trunks, Kale, Caulifla, Kaba. But that's automatically not even. I know Kaba would want to train with Vegeta. I know Caulifla would want to train with Goku. Oh, and Oob. No, Oob makes it even then. So I just need to split them right. Goten with his dad. So Goten, Caulifla, and Oob. And then you could have, for Vegeta, Kale, Trunks, and Kaba. But I don't think Kale would want to be on another side. I think Kale would want to work with Caulifla, but maybe to make it more fun for them, they could separate it. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about that in my head. But I want them to both have their own, like, training methodologies and have them, like, face their students off against each other. Like, essentially, Vegeta and Goku should become equally powered, where they're both, like, on the same level. And now they're like, we're so strong, there isn't as much as we can do to make ourselves stronger, but we can make our pupils stronger. And to have our pupils represent our rivalry, and it'll show, like, which one of us is truly the better martial artist, because martial arts goes beyond your own skill into the skill of what your apprentices are able to achieve. So you get to see the Vegeta-Goku rivalry live on through their apprentices who will then surpass them. Let's see. Vegeta said, while Vegeta cucks himself. Professor Trevenant said, Vegeta from a bridge. Ha ha ha. Vegeta said, while. And he meant to correct it from while to while. Scavenger said, Oob versus Krillin. Oob would beat that ass. Professor Trevenant said, Krillin is the strongest human. Like, that will go far. Lol. Oob is reincarnated Kid Buu. I feel like Oob should be stronger than Krillin, especially with training. Vegeta said, bro, I want to see more of Goten and Trunks. They're doing them dirty like Gohan. True, they got them in school early. Like, they're already screwed. Scavenger says, nah, because 17 and 18 are cyborgs. I don't know. I missed the context for that one. Vegeta said, Oob will destroy Krillin's weak ass. I agree with that. Scavenger says, why do they call them androids instead of cyborgs? That's a good question. I don't know why they're referred to as androids when they're really cyborgs. Professor Trevenant said, no, no, do the ha 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 slowly, like he did to Yamcha. So is it like, ha ha ha? Nah, I don't know. Who did the ha 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 slowly to Yamcha? Was it like Nappa? Was it Vegeta? It wasn't the Cybermen. they don't laugh slowly. Was it Cell? Vegeta said Cyborg 17 and 18 sounds lame. But does it though? Android 17? Cyborg 17. Android 18. Cyborg 18. You will not be able to handle my powerful cyborgs. Cyborg 18, Cyborg 17, Cyborg 16. My forces will overwhelm you. Like, that actually sounds fine to me. I think Cyborg sounds perfectly fine. This is... Professor Trevenant says, in the abridged, I'll show you later. I've never been a fan of Team 4-Star. I actually really like SSJ 9K when it comes to the abridged series stuff for Dragon Ball. Scavenger says 17 and 18 will always have the potential to be the strongest because of their like infinite energy generators. I see you. Like, I definitely see where you're coming from with that. I want to see Android 17's kids. They definitely could do a whole Dragon Ball show that takes place like after Super, where it's like Marin's getting older, Bulla's getting older, Pan's getting older, Goten is getting older, Trunks is getting older, Kale's getting older, Caulifla's getting older, Kaba's getting older, Oob is getting older. They've like they've set up such a big next generation that they have so much they can do, and that's why a lot of people, I feel, are saying that Super's gonna come back in another form, maybe as another series next year. And because they have all these younger characters, they definitely can support a new show for a new generation and still have the older characters take mentor roles, more on the sidelines. Professor Trevenant said Android was because the Doctor only did 2 cyborgs and did not want to skip his old Android numbers. That actually sounds right, because most of his stuff were androids before. Professor Trevenant said, like a soap opera that can last forever. True, it does seem like Dragon Ball Super can last forever as long as it keeps shifting the generational focus. But they've tried that before and failed. Around the Buu saga, Gohan became the main character of Z, only for him to then take the back seat. Vegeta said, would you smash 18 or 17? That's a trick question, because only one of those is female. But not necessarily a trick question, because it all depends on how your sexuality works. Some people are bi and they would pick both. Some people would swing one way or the other. But if I had to have sex with one of them, I would clearly pick 18, the one that was a girl. Well, either way, you're cucking somebody. Because both of them are married. Both of them have like a spouse. Scavenger says he would smash 18. Vegeta said Nick would smash 16. Speaking of Android 16, I don't think Android 16 will be fun in Dragon Ball FighterZ. He's a grapple character, and that's just not my style. I'm not saying that he won't be fun, period, but I think in my opinion, I'm not going to enjoy him as much. Scavenger says 21, though, is the thickest android of all time. I do think Android 21 is probably the most attractive android from Dragon Ball FighterZ. Professor Trevenant said Dragon Ball learned from it the new generation a lot more interesting. Let's face it, we never wanted to see an egghead take the lead in Dragon Ball. Gohan was better always as a side character. Wow. I mean, that's just straight up a solid opinion. Scavenger said 18 is the thickest cyborg of all time. I don't think 18's the thickest, because Android 21, I feel like, actually does have breast, and I think Android 18 is just alright. Nothing about 18 is, like, super rounded in any way, where you go like, dang. Vegeta said he's good in FighterZ, Android 16. I think he's alright. I've watched gameplay. I'm still not impressed. Let's see. Vegeta said Android 21 is sexy. Scavenger said 21 is an android, though not a cyborg. Oh, right, because they don't even mention, I don't think. Well, I don't know enough about the story, but I don't think Android 21 is a cyborg. I think you're right. Vegeta said that 21 can have a better shape due to the fact that she can be, like, augmented as a robot. Oh, wait, Vegeta says she's like Majin Buu, right, because she is a Majin. So she probably could just, like, augment herself. You're not wrong. That is a true statement. It looks like we've gone from talking about the end of Dragon Ball Super to talking about more about Dragon Ball FighterZ. So I might end the stream for now, and then we do a stream where we talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ, if that's okay with everyone here. This is a good time for last thoughts, for people to, like, say their 2 cents about the end of Dragon Ball Super and their opinion. Vegeta said they should make an anime of that, so an anime based around Dragon Ball FighterZ. I do think it would be interesting for them to start making anime adaptations of some of their video games. I do feel like their video games do have a lot of lore, and they could build on it. Scavenger says, why does this stream have to end? The reason why I would stream... Oh, why does Dragon Ball Super have to end? Okay, sorry. Dragon Ball Super has to end because of the fact that the time slot for Dragon Ball Super at the end of March is going to a different show. And Dragon Ball Super has not announced a new time slot. So if Dragon Ball Super doesn't have a time slot on TV, then it just won't air. So because they haven't announced that, it, for all intents and purposes, seems like they're going to just stop Dragon Ball Super at the end of March and maybe start a new show later on. Scavenger says an anime about all the androids and cyborgs would be awesome. If we had more of them, sure. Vegeta said at least we have the English version. Well, true, we now have the dub, and the dub will be able to catch up as they move forward, which would be great. Vegeta said Goku's black voice is sexy. That's what I've heard from Vanessa Brooks as well. Professor Trevenant says Super will probably lead to a new series as long as it's not GT. People have been talking about the possibility of them trying to tie into GT and how that would be silly, but that would be interesting. Scavenger said, I hope it's not GT, parenthesis Goku time. I mean, we can only hope that it's not GT. I think if they did go the GT route and try to connect them, that would be really interesting, because I'd wonder how they would do it. Dragon Ball Heroes acts like GT fits right in, which is really weird. Dragon Ball Heroes makes everything work in the same timeline, but I think it does it by just not referencing the fact that it doesn't. It happens. Vegeta said GT would be cool though. I mean, it all depends on how they incorporate it. Scavenger said GT is boring. I think it depends on what part of GT you watch, to be honest. I like the Shadow Dragon arc, and the Baby saga is alright, but Super did it better with the superhuman water thing. I thought that was much better. Vegeta said they made Gohan and Goten bitches though. You're not wrong, but they're kind of doing that in Super as well, so what can we say? Professor Trevenant said, it's canon as one universe let hope. It was one of the 4 that was destroyed. Fan theory. Scavenger said, I tried watching the first 4 episodes and got bored. Watch it out of order. Started the Super Android 17 arc. I'm saying that because that's what I did. Started the Super Android 17 arc, watch till the end, and then start watching it backwards, arc by arc, not backwards, literally episode by episode. So watch like the arc before Super Android 17 after you finish the series, and then step back. And because you've already seen all the future stuff, you get to see how it builds and is better. Professor Trevenant said, no, it's a fan theory. It's fan theory. The Sensent part, the first part, was confirmed recently. I feel like you accidentally put some spelling errors in there, and that's alright. But I'm not sure if we have any confirmation that the GT universe was one of the universes that Zeno destroyed. But if you can prove me wrong, that's great. I'm totally fine with that. Scavenger said, you misspelled a lot. It happens. People have like autocorrect and stuff like that on their phones, and it messes them up all the time. But yeah, this is quick time for anyone to talk more about their thoughts on like Dragon Ball Super ending and where that's gonna go. Let's see. Professor Remus said, no, I hope it was one, but it canon that it is a universe. I'm not sure if it's canon that it is a universe. Mainly because Toriyama essentially said that like Dragon Ball GT is like a side story kind of thing, which makes it seem like it's not really canon, you know? And he says the movies exist in their own dimension, and I do have a video where I talk about, is GT in the movie dimension? Because there are like a few signs that lead to the idea that it exists in the movie dimension. But you know. Vegeta said, have you seen the manga of someone taking over Goku's body, and he could turn into Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and Goten learn Super Saiyan 4? I have not seen that manga. It sounds like a fan manga. Scavenger says, if it canon, you guys may be experiencing some lag, most def, because we just had a couple of connection errors. Scavenger said nah because of the cucked Goku. I feel like Goku Jr. is just... It was just weird. It just felt... I don't like the fact that Pan is like the only remaining cast member for whatever reason. I know she was really young, but what about Bulma? Like, what if... I don't know. Like, I guess Bulma was still a thing, because Vegeta Jr. is a thing. I don't know. I just don't expect everyone being dead. Vegeta said, but everyone was dead in that movie, even Pan. Professor Trevenant said everyone was dead, so they didn't screw anything up character-wise. I think it was weird because everyone was dead. You live in a world with Dragon Balls and Sensu beans and shit, and you're telling me everybody died? Everybody just finally gave up on life? This is... What about the androids? What happened to their androids? Do they just die? Do they just die eventually? Scavenger said, but Goten was also supposed to cut Goku when they first came up with him. Scavenger's talking about when it comes to cucking Goku, the idea that the character just is a replacement Goku. You know what I mean? Like, Goku Jr. just is like, I'm just Goku now, and it is kind of lame. They could just make them more original, it'll be fine. Vegeta said, yeah, it was stupid, that when they were dead, lol. Professor Trevenant said, okay, if the show goes on, everyone will die. Because Professor Trevenant said they do accept death. Scavenger says, why does Goten not have a tail? I believe Goten doesn't have a tail because he's like a next generation of Saiyan, and you could be like, why isn't Gohan a next generation of Saiyan? Because he wasn't. I think a large part of it has to be that their fathers had attained the Super Saiyan level before their children were born, and it affected their DNA and how they reproduced. Professor Trevenant said, if you want the show to continue, they will die naturally. Goku Jr. just showed one alternate ending. I feel like if the show continues, a lot of characters won't die, actually. Mainly because in the Buu arc, it seemed like Goku was trying to accept death and leave it to the next generation. He thought he was done. But then he got a second chance at life, and my nigga's been holding on, like, the whole time. Like, because they have so many ways to not be dead, it's hard for me to imagine they will let him die. Something will happen. There'll be a big emergency where they're like, we need Goku, we're just not strong enough. And they'll bring him back. Like, there's not a big reason to let him die. Vegeta said, why did Goten and Trunks and Gohan die, though? And Pan, like, in the future. And Bulma. And then Scavenger said, did Toriyama forget? Then Professor Trevenant said Pan was murdered, and that was the drive for him to do the journey. Scavenger said Toriyama has said that he does forget certain details. Stuff like that definitely does happen. Well, but I feel like some of the things Toriyama forgets, we can fan excuse a little bit. Plus, there are guidebooks that explain stuff like this post. And I do think stuff like that is talked about in the guidebooks. Professor Trevenant said, like, the machine gun hot as fuck woman. He was talking about Launch. Launch was cool. Vegeta said, how did she get murdered? Lol. And then Vegeta said, didn't she get a heart attack? And I don't even remember Pan dying in the Goku Jr. thing, I'll be honest. Does she really die? Is she not at the tournament thing and old at the end of the movie? Scavenger said, so Toriyama forgets, that explains it. Then Scavenger said, Launch was awesome. Launch was interesting. She had multiple personality disorder that was based on sneezing. Professor Trevenant said, no, according to him, she left with Shion. Shinra? She left with Shion, the three-eyed guy. Oh, Ten Shinhan. She left with Ten... Why? That sounds so random. Vegeta said, oh yeah, I don't think she dies. Yeah, I don't think she dies. Is she not in the tournament or whatever? Scavenger says, why they be forgetting about her? About Launch? Because she's just a random character. Professor Trevenant says she had a crush on him. That seems really creepy. Tien is so old compared to Pan. And why would Tien be alive? Vegeta said, but she did get a heart attack. Then Scavenger said, she was in Dragon Ball Z. Launch? I guess. Does she appear in like a spirit bomb scene or something where it's like, give me your energy, and they just clip to a bunch of random niggas? Professor Trevenant said, cameo. Yeah, it sounds like a cameo appearance kind of thing. But I do feel like we're more on topic now than we were before. But I think we're still off topic. Like, now we're just talking about Dragon Ball in general. Scavenger said Tien and Launch was in the Saiyan arc, I think. I know Tien is in it. Oh, wait. Are you saying Tien went with Launch, not with Pan? That sounds kind of familiar, but we haven't seen Launch at all in a minute. Professor Trevenant said after he died, she just left, but in reality, they just forgot about her. About Launch? Wait, after Tien died. After Tien died in the Saiyan saga. That sounds interesting. That sounds about right. Scavenger said, I meant together, then Tien flies off to fight. Interesting. I feel like this is an interesting discussion, but I do feel like we're officially off topic from the end of Dragon Ball Super. Let me check the time real quick. It's like 12:48, and my roommate and I are gonna like switch off. Like we're gonna like go to bed around like 1. So I do have to like cut it for now. But I have enjoyed talking with you all most def. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Professor Trevenant said, yeah, the Tory man himself straight out said he forgot she exists going to Z. True. Vegeta said the Japanese voice actor of Goku said she wants the show to go on for 700 episodes. That's true. That being said, though, she doesn't have, like, full control. It's something that she wants, so that doesn't mean it's something that we'll get. Also, if Dragon Ball Super ends, right, in March, that doesn't mean that we won't get another Dragon Ball series next year. Speaking of RIP, Vegeta said rest in peace in the chat. The Bulma voice actress, yes, Professor Trevenant just said that. The Bulma voice actress has died, and that is sad. Professor Trevenant said that he's very sad on this. Some people have talked about the idea that Bulma's voice actress dying could be part of the reason why Dragon Ball Super is like ending in March, because they have to deal with that. They have to like find a new actress for Bulma, the voice Bulma. And if they don't find a new actress, they would have to like write her out of the story or something. Yeah, the Japanese voice actress for Bulma has passed away. And we know that Bulma is at the end of Z, and that Dragon Ball Super takes place before the end of Z. So they have to find someone to replace Bulma, sadly. They can't just like they can't like write her out of the story, essentially, because we know that she's still a vital part of the story. Scavenger says he feels like he's late on the news. This was actually a rather older thing. Vegeta said she died last year, so it's definitely like you are behind Scavenger, but it's better knowing now than not knowing at all. Vegeta asked if I'm not going to stream anymore. Of course I'm going to stream more in the future, but I am going to end the stream somewhat soon because my roommate has to go to bed and I have to go to bed. I actually have a date tomorrow. Hi, my name's Jed. I got a date tomorrow. But I also am going to be hanging out with the guys, and we're going to be playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. We're going to have a new person at the core meeting tomorrow. It's going to be great. There's so many great reasons to get plenty of rest for tomorrow. Professor Trevenant said, and so she died. The Rama would be golden with Trunks having to grow up this time with his dad. That actually would be interesting. So Professor Trevenant was essentially trying to say that it would be an interesting drama to have Trunks grow up with just his father and not the influence of Bulma. Think about how much money Bulma puts in to like Trunks' upbringing and him like getting tutors, and if full control was given to Vegeta, how Trunks may focus more on training and become more of a warrior type character. That actually is really interesting to look into, but because we know Bulma's at the end of Z, that they're not going to just write out Bulma. They just can't, really. Unless they like wish her back to life later and she has a different voice actor for whatever reason when she comes back, and they could do a little hint like, oh, you sound different. That actually would be interesting. Professor Trevenant said future Trunks would meet that Trunks. That actually would be cool. Vegeta said, bro, you lost some subs. True. I have lost some subscribers. We were at 601 subscribers, and last time I checked, we were at like 598. So we definitely have lost some subscribers. I'm not sweating it too much. I have a few reasons that I know of why I would lose subscribers. Number one, due to the fact that I've been sick and doing school stuff, I've been doing a lot less videos, less content coming through. I could definitely see people being like, oh, he's just not uploading as much. Two, we did a video that was called Jackbox TV, and it was really good. A lot of people like that video. We got 5 subscribers from that one video. If you haven't watched it, it was a really funny video. Everyone had a good time. Skinny didn't have as good of a time, but Skinny is like past that now. It's because the people in the live chat kind of like ganged up on Skinny, and it became like a running gag in that episode. But essentially, we got 5 subscribers from that one stream, and I think a lot of people want to see more of Jackbox TV, but it's something that I can only do when I'm with a group of friends who play Jackbox TV. I don't own that game myself. So people who subscribed to see more of that saw this. They saw like vlogs and stuff, and then they were done. Vegeta said, "Who roasted him? Like, who roasted Skinny?" You should definitely watch that Jackbox.TV stream. It became everyone eventually. Like, it went from Skinny getting roasted by like Leo, Leo's wife left him or whatever, right? So everyone was joking on Skinny because Skinny would talk about how like he wanted to like smash girls, but he was like 14, and people like started making jokes about it, and people started joking on Skinny's mom specifically, and the Skinny's mom joke gets pushed so hard throughout the whole stream. It just gets ridiculous. It becomes a meme on its own. Vegeta said, "Oh yeah." Well, Vegeta, if you just already watched it, then you already know what happened. Why do you have to... Skinny's cool. It's fine. Skinny, like, Vegeta just said Skinny was weird. Skinny's 14. Who the fuck isn't weird at 14? Like, Skinny's fine. There's nothing wrong with Skinny. Vegeta, no one deserves bullying. I don't agree with that. Because Vegeta said he deserves it. I don't agree with that. Skinny's a cool person. He's just young. Vegeta said, "I know, but still." No. I feel like there are certain things that you probably shouldn't say as a joke. I feel like you shouldn't endorse bullying as a joke, because it doesn't sound any different to anyone. You know what I mean? Vegeta said, "I didn't talk about it like that." It's like, I mean, as far as people can see, it's just words that appear on a screen. Vegeta said when he was 14, he did it. You know, like, everyone was weird at 14. It's fine. He's just doing his thing. But anyways, thank you all for watching. We're now officially off topic. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. Favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that bell so you know whenever we do these streams. Please share these videos with your friends so that we can help expand the Nickomenton Nation, and they can get in on the fun and festivities with us. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black the One and Only, logging out. Have a great night, everyone. Peace, Vegeta, and thank you. I appreciate it.